Hey, brother sewing and crafting family, Angela Wolf here. How's it going? So today I have a really fun project for you. I have my great grandmother's aprons, two of them. Some of you might remember I got these maybe 2 years ago. And I actually didn't even realize they were my great grandmother. And what's even stranger is while I was putting this class together, she passed away tomorrow in 1972. How weird is that? But we're going to do a keepsake. So maybe you have somebody who passed away. Maybe you have a pet. Well, I hate to say that because my cat lived like 26 years and there was nothing left after that. But something that you want to keep around. So I have these two aprons. They don't match at all. And we're going to make a keepsake for it, okay? And we're going to give it away as a gift. I'm going to keep one for myself, give one to my mom, a few things like that. So pop in, say hi. It's great to see you all. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook on Brother's Side, and I can see all your comments. So since I'm the only one on the show today, I will work on the project, and then I'll take a break and come and answer your questions. Sound good? All right. It's always so wonderful to see you, and I love seeing all your comments while I'm getting all my cameras ready. If you could have been a fly on the wall, you would have seen me running from one end to the other, trying to make sure all my cameras are set up. I've got a camera on the luminaire. I've got a camera on the Avenir, on the ironing board, and for hooping. All over. But the cords were everywhere, and I went running to get a cup of coffee. You know, you got to have some important coffee. And I tripped over one of the cords. I'm okay. The camera, maybe not so much. So if we have a blinky camera today, we're going to blame it on the pre-show. All right, everyone, let's get rolling. So what do you need for this project? Well, we're going to do some fonts using the font preview on the Avenir. We are going to also add some stippling. It's kind of like, my vision is kind of like the mug rug, but I also want to give you some ideas. I have my dad's shirts here. I'm not going to do those on camera because I'd be sobbing, but I'll give you some ideas for where to put some of these letters, maybe on a cuff, maybe on a collar. For this apron here, now, these two don't match at all, and I don't think I'm going to put them together because it would be an eyesore. So this, I love this one. It's light colored. If you recall a show from last year, when I got these aprons, I've made a couple mug rugs with it, but I took a photo of the fabric to preserve the aprons, and I took a photo using Artspira, sent it over to Print Moda, and printed fabric like this. It turned out awesome. So if you missed that episode, that was last year. My goal this year is to go through all my UFO projects and get rid of this. So I'm going to cut the actual fabric. And I have some ideas. So on this apron, yeah, so my great-grandmother, I lived until 2 years old before she passed away. And there's one picture of myself, my mom, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother. Pretty cool, right? So this is old. Well, I mean, it is old. Vintage, is that the word we use? Vintage? Karen, if you're watching the show, she sent me a photo of a vintage little girl sewing, and it's something that we played with when we were kids. I guess we're vintage now. But on this apron, you try to look to see what you could use and preserve and turn it into something cool. So I noticed there's a little pocket here. I could preserve that and put it somewhere. I don't think I'm going to worry about taking out the binding. That's a lot. But I have some ideas for you. So let's head over to the table. I'll make sure you don't have any questions before I head over there. Everyone's rolling in. It's so nice to see you all. And now I know, yes, Glenda, I always know Facebook's working because you're the first one to leave a comment over there. Oh, although Elsa might have beat you today. So great to see you all. Let's head over to the table. I'll show you my supplies and let's get started. All right, so let me just take this down so you're not staring. You already know you're welcome, right? Okay, so let's see. Let's go over here to the table. And I'll show you this a little bit closer. So over here, if anybody watched my live show yesterday, you know that I was working on a top. I'm sewing. I'm trying to get all my UFO projects done. I might finish by the end of the year. So originally I was thinking of using the largest hoop, the brand new one that came with the Avenir. But guess what? The hoop is bigger than my grandma's apron. I mean, I could hoop most of it, but not all of it. Oh, by the way, do you know what this is? Safety pin. So my mom told me that my grandmother always had a safety pin on her apron. I forgot the reason. I don't know if it was because she always had a recipe on there or what, but so the only way I could use the actual apron in this big hoop would be if I use sticky back, and I don't want to use sticky back. So I have to resort to a different choice. So I'm going to move the biggest hoop ever. And also, if I want to add, my thought was to maybe have somewhat of a mug rug and then have a corner so you can kind of visualize this with me. If this is the bottom, I want this all quilted. And then I found a matching fabric. It looks great, right? A bright green. And have this kind of on the corner. And I will put her name, the day she was born, the day she passed away. And then I have some great photos, and I'll just stick the photos in here. I could add some lace, stuff like that, but that's the idea. So the bottom piece, first thing we need to do is add stippling. Well, actually, first we're going to do the words. Then we're going to do the stippling, lay this on top. And then if I want to add some more decorative stitching, I want to give you some more ideas because this, I could think of a lot of applications for this. So I'll put the apron to the side for now. And what do I have on here? I found this great fabric. Well, it's really thin. It's a thin cotton. If I can almost see through it. So what I want to do is add some fusible interfacing to the back. So if you're in the Avenir Masterclass, you probably saw something similar to this. I have quite a few colors of this fabric. I love using it, but if you don't put some form of stabilizer behind it, the stitching doesn't look very good, and also you can see through it. So this is just fusible interfacing, garment fusible interfacing, not embroidery. We're going to press that in place, and then I have already here, I just grabbed a 5x7 hoop. This is sticky back tearaway stabilizer. So you put the paper side up. I've already hooped it, and then you pull away this little paper here. Maybe. I already pulled it away. I don't want to mess up my nails. I'll show it to you on the ironing board. So let's head over to the ironing board, and I'll show you how I prep this fabric. So on the way over there, just so you know, when you look at this fabric, it's very thin. Like you can probably see my face through it, right? But I've already pressed a little bit of interfacing on here. And this side you can't see through. It gives it a little more stability. So it's not a specific brand that I'm using, but it's called Fusion-It. That's a type. And I'll show you when we get to the ironing board. It's very lightweight. It has a little stretch, and it's fusible, which is great. But again, it's garment interfacing, not embroidery stabilizer. Big difference there. All right, head over to the ironing board. And again, drop your questions in. I am live today, so I'll try to answer any questions that you have. Oh, there we go, Miss Maureen. Maybe that's why she had it on there. She just might have needed one. All right, over here. So I have my fabric. I've already pressed part of this in place, but I thought for somebody who might be totally new to this, I want to show you how to do this. So on the back side of the fusible interfacing, it feels kind of rough. That's the side that goes to the wrong side of the cotton fabric. If you do it the other way, you're going to have a hot mess, meaning it's going to stick to your iron. So to put interfacing on, you just press. I like to use steam with mine. You press and hold. Do not slide your iron like this, because what will happen is you'll get little folds in the fusible interfacing, and it will show through to the other side. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this. I'm making a few of these, however much the fabric will allow. And I'm going to do the green and teal apron first, and then I'll do the red one. Not all with you today, or we'll be here till tomorrow. but at least we'll get started, and I'll show you some great techniques for this. All right, then on the right side, I like to give it one more pressing. This is where I make sure that there's no weird wrinkles. Now the interfacing's already on there. I need I wish you could see my glasses right now. I can't see anything. It's all steamy. It's like going to the spa. Okay. So there's my fabric. I want to let it cool. I don't want to put it right onto the hoop yet. I think your camera even, did your camera just steam up? I have to know. Okay, that's really funny. I think I just steamed your camera. So now you can feel like you're here pressing with me. Sound good? Oh, I want to do a baby onesie. What kind of stabilizer should I use? Wanda wants to know. Depends what you're embroidering. And a lot of times on the baby onesies, I will actually embroider, and then I put a piece of this fusible interfacing I'm showing you on the back side. That's what I did for my nieces because they hate that scratchy. When I put, I did these princesses. That's also in the Avenir Masterclass. We did princess appliques. And the back side will scratch your skin. Just not really scratch, but it's not super soft. So I put one piece of fusible interfacing in the back. It worked great. Yeah. All right, back over here. Now that I got you all steamed up, everybody. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is kind of figure out how, if I'm going to have a square shape, which I'm going to do a square shape. So it's not really a mug rug. It's going to be kind of something to go in the middle of the table or something. But I want to have a corner of this fabric, maybe like this. So I'm folding the fabric on a 45-degree angle and give it a little pressing. Use my clapper to give it a nice crisp crease. And look at, see how nice that crease looks? Well, what do I want that for? Well, that's going to be my guideline. So if this is going to go on the corner, if this is all my other fabric and this is going to go on the corner, I'm going to put my great-grandmother's name here, and then her birthday, and then the day she passed. So it'll go kind of like in this order. But I want to have both pieces of fabric because this is going to be somewhat of an envelope in the side where I can put those pictures or a little note. I don't have any notes from her, but I have notes from my grandmother. So I also have my grandmother's clothes in a bin. So I could do this the rest of the year. We'll see what happens. So when I embroider, I want to open this up. And let's just lay out. Again, this is sticky back stabilizer. I've already taken away most of the paper. That's what you do. Just pull it away. So lay this down, and then this line will be my guideline. And if you're worried you can't see it, just mark some chalk across there, and then we'll be able to see it. But with the projector and all the tools that we have on the Avenir and the Luminaire, I'll be able to see the stitching, the letters quite well. But we're going to do this on the Avenir because the Avenir has a new feature with font preview, and you have more options for what size you want your font. All right, so let's head to the machine. Oh, that's such a good idea. Yeah, to put one of the recipes on there. Yeah, you could do that with really tiny letters. Or actually, if you have the recipe, put it in this little corner pocket that I'm making. Kind of fun. All right, anything else before I head over? Looks like no questions. Oh, you guys are so easy today. All right, come on over and let's work on the fonts. Now again, I'm only using a 5x7 hoop because I don't want a huge area with these letters. So I'm just going to move you over just a little bit so I can see this. Actually, I'm trying to get the lights away from you. How about that? Is that better? Do you guys want to do I Spy in my studio? Holy moly. Clean up in aisle 4. That's all I got to say. Okay, let's go under embroidery. And down here under category 2, look at all the fonts. So this is the new cool feature. You have show preview. You can turn it off or on. But when it's on, get my hand on there. Come on. And I touch one of these. Look what happens. It shows you everything. So I know that I need to put in all of these letters here. And if I see that maybe the R looks weird on here, or not weird, but just different than what I want, then I will choose a different font. So it shows you the capital letters and the smaller letters. This is so nice. So I just want something. No, I'm going to go back. I don't want that one. I want something that can be stitched really small, that will look nice. Some of these prettier ones look awesome, but it's not what I really want for this project. So I'm going to go under here and look for maybe, gosh, the first one maybe. Let's see what this looks like. Well, you'd be able to see the letters quite well. That's more of a bold. I'm afraid this one here, I love this one. I've used it for other things, but it's more, has some more kind of cursive letters, so I don't want that yet. Which one do you guys think? These, let's see what this one is. I'm debating between this one and this one. I think they're both close. This one just has darker letters. I think I'll go with this route. Well, this is always the hardest part. What does this one look like? My hands are cold. I think I'll go this route. Does anybody have any opinions for me? Because the name's quite long, Lillian DeRosier. So I don't want the letters to be too big or it's not going to fit on that corner. Wanda says 305. Oh, Andrea, that's a great idea. A great idea. Actually, I was thinking recipes. Do you guys ever watch Kathy Stipe when she's on here? She's got a ton of recipes. We call them recipes, but they're in my design center. All right, let's see what 305 looks like, Wanda. Oh, well, that looks nice. So I need a capital L. That looks very classy. Oh, I like this one. I wasn't even considering this one. And then let's see what the D, and then a little E, and then a capital R. Perfect. Ah, that's why I sew with you guys. All right, let's go with it. 305 it is. And then another new thing, instead of having just small, medium, large, or extra small, for the letters, you actually have font sizes, which I love that. So let's take this down to, I'm going to guess it's going to be about 14. Maybe we'll leave it at 15. I can change it later. So, all right, let's go in here. I got a capital L. Now, I'm not giving this one to myself, or I would put great grandmother on here. This one I'm giving as a gift. I'm giving one to my mom, and then one to, let's see, this would be my grandmother's. Oh, too far down the line. I don't know exactly how we're related, but we are. And if she's watching this, she's probably laughing, especially because I've had this for a long time. So there, that I looks okay. I have a feeling this might be too big, though. LL. When I turn it, I guess we'll see. I'm thinking I better make it smaller. So when I click on this button here, it selects all the letters. Let's go down to a 13, 14. Because I can save these letters and then piece them together in the embroidery hoop. So there's that. I don't think DeRozier is going to fit on there. So click set. And remember, it's number 14. That looks pretty good. Let's see, rotate it to the left. Move it all the way down. Okay. Now let's add the next letter. Back under here, add 305. And again, we need to go down to, was it 14? Now you know why I have to write this stuff down. All right, capital D. Oh, that D looks great. Lowercase e, capital R, O, S, I, E, R. My hands are cold. I should just use my mouse. Do I have it plugged in? Oh, I don't. Okay, R. Derosier. That looks great. Okay, click set. We're going to do the same thing. Edit, rotate to the left. And now I need to move it down just a little bit. That was a good guess on that number 14. It looks really good. So click OK. It looks good. Let's select all and center it. So did you see what I hit? That's select all. It pushes them together, and now I have it in the center. And I'm also going to need to move this to the left a little bit. Click OK. All right, now I need to add her date of birth and date. I cannot believe it's tomorrow. That just kind of gave me the chills this morning when I was working on this. Thought, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, go back under fonts. Let's see what the numbers look like on 305. I think I would like something a little bit blockier. Let's look under here. Here we go again. Anybody have any suggestions for numbers? Oh, those look pretty good. Those are pretty dark though. This 202. All right, so we need 11. So under here, these are the numbers. Whoa, that's huge. Well, huge for my project. Let's see if we go all the way back to that 14, if it matches. Otherwise, we might have to go a little smaller. Let's go with 12. Okay, so 11. And I think there is, I did this before under the special characters. Yeah. 11, 13. Special character. And 1907. Oh, 7. Now, one thing about those, they're kind of far apart. So look down here, and I can bring them a little closer together. You've got a lot of options here. That looks good. And if I want to try it bigger, I can make it bigger, but that looks pretty good. You can also change the font again. You say, you know what? I don't know if I like that. So come under here and you can change it to a different one and see what it looks like. See if there's like a really small, just in case there's something cuter. Okay, click OK. That looks fine. 11/13/1907. Let's click Set. See what it looks like. Edit, rotate. That's fairly large. See if we can make it just a little smaller. Oh, that looks much better. 2.07 by 0.44. I'll never remember that. And I wonder if I can get the next date next to it. Let's try. So this one, we'll move all the way down here. Yeah, I'll bet you I can. So again, I made it quite a bit smaller. I better write that down. Anybody have any questions while I'm doing this? Barbara says 202 has a kind of 1940s typeface. Oh, I didn't check to. Is that what I'm using? Now that you said that? Okay, so I'm going to write down that number. Let's bring in the second date. And then if you want to write anything else on there. All right, come back over. I have my friend Cindy, who she might even be here on the live show, made me this really nice. I'll show it to you real quick. So when my dad passed a couple years ago, she made me this. Now, Cindy, if you're watching, don't be upset. I spilled a little piece of makeup on it because I keep it on my makeup table. But see how nice that looks? Here, I'll make myself big so you can see. That's beautiful. So I could also write some other words on there too. Perfect. Okay, did you get it? Now let's go back to the machine. So I want to write these numbers 217 by 0.44. Now mine might be a little different with the next numbers, but probably not. All right, there you go. Click OK. Click Add. Probably should add 202. This is terrible. I was looking at your 202. Did we choose? Oh, okay, guys. 101 or 102. I can't remember what was the first numbers. I didn't write that one down. I don't remember. Barbara says 202 looks good, but that's what got me confused. Did we use 202? All right, I know you're watching, so leave me a note. And I know there's a delay, so I'll wait like 3 seconds to see who is paying attention. Otherwise, I got to write the numbers again. I'm wondering, though, if I shouldn't put all the numbers in, and then I can put that space in between, and I know that it will match. All right, this is when I do a show by myself, and I'm not the one that's paying attention. Let's try it again. We'll use these. Again, we'll go to size, probably size 12. And if it was 202, great. But if not, we're just going to do it again. But I'm going to try to get the whole piece in there. 10's too small. Let's go with 12. I like that. And then we made it smaller. So let's, well, 11. Let's go with 11. 11. 13. 'Come on. I know my hands are cold, but I should warm them up. Let me see if I've got my mouse. No. You know what I did is I took the back part out of my mouse. I should never do that. Oh, I found it. Here, I'll put it in the... Got it. Probably doesn't help that I'm leaning over a camera, too. All right, let's see. Perfect. 11. See it? It's right here. I love this feature. You could always use a mouse, but not wireless. 19. Oh, 7. Yeah, that's still pretty big. So I'm going to write this down. 202, size 11. We'll bring it closer together. 1. I'm going to count how many clicks so I can make sure they're the same. 2, 4, 5. There we go. Try that. Okay. And I could technically put it on another line, but I think this will be fine. Click set. We're going to save that. I'm just going to move it up here for now. Now let's click add, and this time I'll remember what I took. Go under category 2, 202. This is what happens when you have so many different options. Click OK. All right, and now this time we'll go I'll use this little icon here. Up, we're at 30 again. We need to go all the way down to 11. We're getting there. Okay, and I want to add a space after that because I know I'm going to have a couple spaces to make this even. So let's go with like 2 spaces. That's the space button in case you didn't know. Back to numbers. And this time 6. 6. 1972. Well, if I told you I lived till I was 2 with her, then I guess I just told you how old I am, huh? All right, so this is highlighted in pink. So let's go down here to character spacing and make it small. I'm going to click that one more time. There we go. And then there's spacing. All right, how's this looking? Better? Click set. All right, so this one here, I want to delete. This one here, I want to rotate right here, 90 degrees to the left. Let's move that all the way down. And this one here, rotate 90 degrees. And we're going to move that all the way up. I just want to make sure they're even. And then we need to make them a little smaller. Click OK. Click on size. I did 3 notches. Let's try this one. 1, 2, 3. That's as small as it gets. Did you hear that knocking? It means it cannot get any smaller. So let's double check. This one is 0.44. Oh no. I just did all the letters. Well, that went well. So now I have to put that in again. So let's move on and let's do, Wanda says, I feel like I'm learning a lot. Well, you just learned a lot and now I have to do it again. So can you edit the one you've done and add to it? Yeah, Lorraine, you can. Deborah says, is there a stylus? Yes, there is. There is a stylus. Elsa was 102. Oh, Amanda, there you are. So I had it right, 305 and 202. Well, we're not doing that all again. Let's go ahead and do the, I'm going to restart my machine. And we'll get that going. Just for the record, I have a beta machine, so mine is not like an actual one that you have. So anyways, now let's go ahead and do I showed you how to do the letters. Very simple to do. I'm going to do that. Live gremlins. I know. Isn't that how that happens? Now let's go ahead and do the other piece. Let's get it hooped and go into my design center and add a beautiful fill. Sound good? All right. So I'm going to go on over here. Let's get that apron hooped up. Oh, Wanda, that's awesome. And Deborah, I will show you the stylus. But let's go back over here. Let me get my hoop and my apron. It's over here. So what you need for this, hold on, I'm coming. It's on the other side of the room. All right. Sorry, just restart my machine. It's good. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the fill. And trust me, when I'm finished with this, I'm going to save the letters. And that way, when I make a bunch of these, it'll be much faster. All right, so I'm going to use the magnetic hoop because I wanted it to be kind of a square that could go on a table, or you could even turn it into a pillow if you want. That'd look nice. There's a little tool to get these off, and I've actually been embroidering like crazy from home, so that's where the tool is. So when you don't have it, go ahead and use your fingers. Okay, I see somebody asking, what's a beta machine? That is the first machine that came out that isn't all beautiful like yours. That's usually how it works at the beginning. Okay, let's take the apron. I'm just going to center this because I really want to do some beautiful quilting on this whole piece. And then my corner piece with the name will go here. So if you've never used Brothers Magnetic Hoop, this is how it works. You slide to each end. The one thing you have to do is make sure that on the corner you leave enough room here so you can slide this onto the machine. And if you have a lot of layers, these hoops are awesome. So what do I have on here? No embroidery stabilizer, just some batting. I probably don't need this huge, humongous piece here. I'll go ahead and cut this down a little bit. Is there anything underneath of here? No. Let's go ahead and use the rotary cutter on that. I always check because if you run over pins or hit a ruler, that isn't always so good. There we go. All right, and I think there's some more magnets under here somewhere. Here's one. Notice how you just slide it across the fabric. It holds it in place. And if you saw the live show, I think it was last week maybe, Kathy Gandy was showing how if you're doing a quilting project, you can actually just leave your hoop in the machine and slide your fabric up and then put these magnets back in. That was really slick. So if you missed that show, it was last week. So that's nice and tight. It's pretty even for what I want. And let's take this to the machine. All right, any questions? Lorraine says, I just ordered my magnetic hoop. Yay! Oh, are you going to be in Silverdale next week? I will be there. It's going to be fun. And I won't be bringing the apron, I don't think, because I'm supposed to put it in the mail. But if it's finished, I will. Bev, can you tell me what type of fabric the top is behind you? This one, Bev, that we did yesterday in our live show? It's a rayon knit. Yeah. All right, let's head back to the machine. That's actually the Luminaire. We're not going there. We're going over to the Avenir, which is here. I had them both set up because I wasn't sure if I needed to kind of move them around a little bit. But I wanted to do the fonts on the Avenir just because, as you saw, there's so many options there for seeing the type of font, seeing it up close, the sizing. So you got all of that. I won't make you do it again with me, but I'll be doing it again. So just make sure my needle's all the way up here. Slide my... What you want to make sure on here is that there's nothing underneath, that the apron hasn't fallen over, like half underneath. You know what I'm talking about? If there's like a whole bunch of fabric, sometimes it can get caught underneath. You don't want that. Let's slide this hoop in place. Get the apron situated here. And I really just want to add a nice stippling to this. And this is so easy to do. So let's go into, you can do it on the embroidery side. I'm going to do it on my design center. And I don't want to recall my last project. So let's go in here. Now, by the way, on my screen, you see the smaller hoop because I had set it up for 5x7. You can change that a few different places. Go under here under shape. And in here, you see hoop size. And you have all these different hoop sizes. So let's hit this. There's the border, but a lot of times I like to have the grid on here too. So just as a memory or a reminder, not a memory, under here, under frame size, that smaller shape that you're seeing on the screen is this here. So you want to change that hoop. And if you want the grid, I get this question all the time. How can I get a grid like yours or turn it off? Under here, under grid, click this arrow. You've got a center position. You have a quadrant, and you also have the 1-inch grid and the 3/8 inch grid. So that's how you turn that on and off. All right, that looks good. Click OK. And now see on here, you've got the grid, and then you have the red outline for your box. I want to scan in my fabric so I can see what it looks like. In case you haven't ever done this, click on scan. And let's go on image scan and scan. And what it does is it will actually scan your fabric in. And one thing I want to point out while I'm there, can you see my hand over here? Right here? There's the table right here, which really helps to stabilize these bigger hoops. And I cannot remember the person's name that just emailed me yesterday that said, I want to figure out how to make an image of my quilt block onto my screen. And that's how you do it, how I just showed you. And then on this screen here, if you look up here, you can make this darker And look, I can see my fabric. I know exactly what it's going to look like. So if I wanted to add some lines in between the paisley, you can have a lot of decorating fun here. In fact, that would be really fun. I was thinking about doing free motion with the new stitch regulator foot, but I think this will be a lot more fun. So there's my outline, and I can either go in here and start adding uh, some decorative stitching or stippling. Let's see what it looks like with stippling. So click right here on the bucket, click below. I'm going to make this, I'll just leave it red so you can see it. And in here you have an option. There's stippling, or click right here, and this is all of the different fills that you can get in the machine. So let's see if there's any paisleys, because that would look really cool. I know there's fish in here, because that's the one I used for my bag. There's the fish. Do any of these look like paisley to you? Got leaves. That one's kind of a fun fill. And these are some of the new ones in case you haven't seen those. Gosh, do you guys have any opinions? I'll show you the numbers. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 in a row. Roses I love, but this is more, that first one actually isn't bad. That kind of has like a paisley. That one right here, can you see that? I'll bring you a little closer. That one might not be bad. That one's like tulips. Anybody have any suggestions? I think I'll just pick number 1 then. So you click the button, I'll take you back out so you can see the full process here. Click OK. Click OK. And then I'm just going to touch. And what did that do? You're probably thinking it looks exactly the same. Well, it's not. So now if I go up here and make my fabric lighter, I can make it almost disappear. What do you see there? That's the fill that's going to go on that fabric. So I'll take your opinions. Do you like that one, or should I change it? Oh, Wanda says number 1 was her choice. Deborah says honeycomb. Andrea says 12. Yeah, I think they'd all look good. So my next step is going to be to embroider that. And then I have my base for my pillow that actually, I have a pillow form here, right here. The pillow is about this size. I think that this would be a real cool pillow. I just don't know if somebody wants to have a pillow sitting out all the time. I prefer something that lays on my counter, or I can use maybe sitting on my bookshelf, something like that. But this is cute too. So this is a very similar process. You can see the fill in here. That's where I scanned in lettering. That was pretty cool. Then we added the fill. Of course, we added our Disney designs. So that's another option. All right, so I'll go ahead and get it started and let it embroider. Elsa says it looks very busy. Enlarge it. Okay, I'll do that. Andrea says 12. Okay, I got it. Let's head over. Let's see if there's another one that we need to look at. I can make this whole thing bigger too. So if I want to enlarge it, you go up here to the plus. Let's go to like 400%. That's really large. 200%. See? So it has, you're right, it is kind of busy. So you want to change it? No problem. Go under here under 100. I'm going to use my mouse again. And as you see, when you go hover over something, it tells you what it is. Do you notice that? Yeah, that's a great feature. Okay, back under here. Click on select. Somebody said number 12. That would look nice too. Someone else said honeycomb. The honeycomb might look nice because, oh wait, what about this one? Click OK. Click OK. And this is how simple it is to go back and forth. Now just touch inside the button and it changes it. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Let's make my fabric a little darker. Oh, I kind of like that one. So there's my fabric. There's my fill. That's not bad. One other option that you do have, and I'm just going to show you this option because this is more of kind of a tutorial right now. If I take that away, or actually let me make my fabric a little darker. You can actually go in here with the paintbrush and paint. I could do a stippling through my fabric if I wanted to. I just think that'd be so busy. I actually kind of like this. Let's just go with it. Click next. And this is where you'll have the option if I want to make this larger. You know, that last print was kind of busy. Again, if you want your fabric to go away so you can see it, it's up here. And then this is the enlarging right here. Let me bring you a little closer. How's that? Better? And then here are your options for if you want it to be further apart. This is size. Let's make it a little bigger. Click OK. And it does its magic. Oh, that looks better. Yeah, I like this one. You can also offset. You can also random shift, which makes those go other directions. I kind of want this to be somewhat straight. I think that's it. That works. So click set, which is right down here. Turns it into embroidery. There's our print. And I do want the box on the outside because that's going to be my guideline for sewing this together, or I can also do it in the hoop. So it says it's going to be 14 minutes. Change to a larger frame. Let's make it a little smaller. Oh, you know what? I picked the wrong size. Let's go smaller. Now, by the way, when you're changing size, if I don't click the density, it will only let me go smaller to a certain amount, okay? So now when I click on the density button and make it smaller, it'll only go that far. If you hear that knocking, that means that's as far as it's going to go. So let's hit this again. And notice this one wouldn't let it go smaller at all, and this one will. So oh, thanks, Jill. So any questions on how to do those fills? Because now I'm going to go back and put all my letters back in. I'm going to save a couple times in there and then put those in. So let me just tell you the rest of the process, okay? So come back over here and let's go to the ironing board. And I'll share this next week on my live show too. Oh, Debbie, you thought that you thought my mouse was a fly? That's so funny. Elsa, did that answer your question? You were able to see the pattern of the apron? Hey, Wanda. So what I'm doing right now, you can do on the Luminaire. You can do on the Stellaire. Well, my design center has been around for quite a while. Dream Machine. Am I missing one? The new 10 needle. Well, the one that came out like quite a while ago. I call it new because mine's really old. Anything else? Yeah, it is a nice machine. And again, don't forget, while she's mentioning that, I'm going to take you over to show you how I'm going to finish this. But also, don't forget, if you're in the USA, register your machine on Brother's website, and you get the Avenir Masterclass for free. And then if you receive the bundle, you'll have a card that came in your bundle, and you can register for the embroidery designs, which are free too. Oh, Andrea has the Luminaire. Yeah, you can do all of this that I've done today, you can do on the Luminaire, except for the font preview. And in the fonts on the Luminaire, you only have, it doesn't have the number to be able to change the font size. It's either extra small, small, medium, large. There might be a few others in there too. Make sense? Okay, come on over and let me show you how I'm going to finish this. So, if you can imagine, I'm going to bring the other fabric because I don't want to unhoop my apron. It's already hooped. I just put the wrong size hoop in there, so that's my own fault for that. And I'll just go back to my design center, choose the correct size hoop, and we'll be good to go. So a couple things. There is a pocket in here that I could utilize on parts of the apron, but once my whole back piece, I'm using the red just so, because the other one's there. Once I have my nice square that's all has beautiful stippling on it, whatever that design was. So imagine that this is a square. I'm going to have my folded piece with the letters is going to go just like this. So if I'm going to do this on a piece of paper for anybody who wants to follow along, and then I'll give you a few more ideas of where to put some of this stitching. So here is going to be my this will be the fabric all stippled. Then I will take my green fabric with that nice crisp fold, and it's going to go right across however I need on one of the corners. So then the name and date will go here. Does that make sense? So this is all stippled all the way around. How do you like that stippling? And then you're going to take your fabric on the fold and put it right here. Now what I'm using is that outside line as a guide, like I mentioned. And then I'll take another piece of fabric. If I don't really want to use too much of the apron on the back side because it's going to be on the back. I might just take another piece of this green. So if this part's done, let me just draw it in so you can picture this. And there's the name and date. Leave this in the hoop, and that way I can take a plain piece of green fabric over the back side and stitch right along that marking. So you can kind of see through the paper and just leave a little opening. And that way you flip it inside out and you've got basically a mug rug. Or if you decide to do an envelope backing like this is super simple. These are real buttons, but I didn't cut them open. So this is an envelope backing. You can see the front side has all the stippling. This actually was scanned in. So a very similar idea. So are there any questions on that? Because I also just want to give you a couple ideas if you have some shirts or anything like that. So I have these here. So these would be from my dad. So I've got cuffs. This would be a great place to put a name and date. And then imagine the same process here, the stippling. And then you could lay the cuff across the corner. Or like this. You can use the front buttons as a section here. So on here, maybe like this. The buttons could be the center. Or if you have two shirts, you can piece them together. But if you decide to put words or fonts on top of the cuff or the collar, this already is pretty stable. So you can still, again, use that sticky back stabilizer, place this on the hoop, and then use your projector to make sure that all of your letters go to the right place. So despite a couple glitches, I hope I gave you some ideas for this because what a great gift to give someone, right? Yeah, I love it. So I'm going to take a quick moment to take your questions. Someone said, can you do everything that you showed on other machines? Yes, again, except for the font preview is only on the Avenir. Oh, Cindy, that pillow you can do on your Avenir or the Luminaire or the Dream Machine. That was all done in my design center. The Avenir has more options, yes. Oh, Wanda, the PE 900. I don't think that has my design center, but you can still, you have fonts in there, don't you? Oh, I know, they're so fun. So I actually did that pillow a few years back. I want to say it was might have even been the Dream Machine. Okay, so somebody said, show me on the, perfect. Okay, you do have fonts. Okay, our hour is up, but I'll show you one more quick thing over on the Luminaire because somebody just asked. Since I have my camera right there, I'll show you how to get there. Okay. No, Bev, the SE2000 does not have my design center. Okay, so here's my Luminaire. And in here, if you watched my show yesterday, I was sewing on the Luminaire, embroidering on the Avenir. It made it fast to go back and forth during a live show. All right, so in here, under embroidery, there's your fonts on the Luminaire. See, there's quite a few of them. There's more on the Avenir, yes. And when you click on a font, you do not have the preview option, but you can still bring a font in here. And down here at the bottom is where you have large, medium, and small. All right. And then once you still have your spacing, just like we did, when I click set for this one and click on embroidery, click on layout. Actually, I'm going to go back, return. I'm going to go to the editing section here. When I click on size here, these are all grayed out. But I can, see how I'm making my font smaller? So you can't change between the density or not, but you can change the size of your font. So it's a little bit different. And also you have large, medium, small right here. Well, that's like itsy bitsy. Let's make this like 200%. See how tiny that is? So you have those options. So if you follow along everything I did and then just follow the keys, if it's grayed out, it doesn't work. So that's a nice option as well. And then for my design center, you do have my design center in the Luminaire. Go right down here to my design center. And then to scan in, right here is where you would hit image scan. And that would scan in your fabric to do just what we did on the Avenir. So hopefully that helps you. The screens are very similar, but a little bit different. All right, so thank you for hanging out with me for today. I still have more to do, so I'm going to be hanging up here and I'm going to go work on that. But if you want to see how to make this top, we did that yesterday on my live show. And what do we have planned for next week? Oh, Tuesday on the Brothers Show, Lynn Lily's coming in and she's got a really super fun sublimation project. So again, if you do this, make sure you tag me, tag brother. We'd love to see what you're working on. And hopefully all of those tutorials today got your mind flowing for how you could add some great fonts and how to add some stippling, all with a couple clicks. All right? Okay, I don't think I have any more questions. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Nice to see you, Glenda. All right, everyone, leave your comments, even if you're watching the replay. And if you have any questions, we'll try to come in and answer those. Until next time, happy sewing.